In this lecture, we're going to address working with multiple characters and elements, things like boxes and text. And these are things to consider when working with multiple elements. Now, there's not a lot to say. It's just a matter of having multiple layers on the timeline and working with each of them. But there are a couple points that I want to make when it comes to working with a lot of characters and elements. So let's jump over to Create Studio. I'll make my points and then we'll move on. Here we are in Create Studio, and we're going to create yet another new project. We'll call this multiple characters. Up the resolution. And I'm liking white, so let's go with that. Okay, so let's add some characters here. I'm going to go to Studio. I'm going to go to Characters. Let's get Sam in here. And let's come back over to Supreme Characters, and we'll get Fitness Girl, because I've already downloaded these two. We can bring in a shape, and let's make that shape green so that we can see it. Whoa, what happened? Make that shape green. Oh, I haven't given it. There we go. And we'll move that over here. And then let's put in some text. And we'll make the text black. And come here and we'll say sample text. We've got that in here. Whoop, moved the wrong thing. And once again, undo is our friend. Let's undo that. Come to text. Move that up here. So we're getting a bunch of characters and stuff, and our timeline is beginning to clog. Well, not really, is it? So let's go to here and we'll duplicate that green box and we'll make it blue so it's a little different. We'll put it up here, and then we'll duplicate this text. Come to the bar for the text and say duplicate, and now we've got another copy of it, and we'll put that down here. So notice as you do this, your timeline begins to get rather crowded. So what I like to do is I like to work on an element, get it. Oh, and the other thing, did you notice when I was trying to move the text, right? I had the text down here and I went, okay, let's move the text, right? So I'm on it, I go, oh, that worked, darn. Okay, I go, let's move the text, and I accidentally grab the guy. The way to get around that, let's undo that again. This time I'll move the text. And the way to get around that is to lock things. So what I like to do is one at a time. Let's say I've got Sam done. I lock him. Now I can't move Sam. I can't select him, anything like that. The other thing that I like to do is so let's say we're done with these three elements. I lock them, and then I make them invisible on the timeline, and I click that. And they get removed from the timeline, so it keeps your timeline less cluttered. Now, another way to keep your timeline less cluttered is by using groups, but we're not going to address groups yet. We're going to address those later. What you can do is you can group multiple layers into a layer group, and then you can work on the group by opening it, and you just work on the contents of the group and you move back to the main line. In fact, what the heck? Let's look at how to do this. I'll cheat ahead. Notice this create group. If I right click on the bar, now it's inside of a group, and you can tell because it's got the upward and downward arrows at either end. And I double click on it, and now I'm editing the group. Notice it says here main project and new group. That's the name of my group. I can rename the group. And then I can add things to the group. Let's come here, duplicate this, and duplicate it again. And these are in that group. So when I come back to mainline, notice I just see it as one group. So it condenses everything, and I double click on the group bar, and now I'm editing the group. And then I go to mainline, and I'm outside the group. So grouping is another good way to handle things. The other thing that I wanted to address is notice that things are overlaying other things. Now, how do you fix that? Well, let's view everything. You can see the fitness girl is way down here at the bottom. The things that are at the top, the layers that are at the top of the timeline, are the things that are in the forefront. So if I want the girl above the text and the box and all that, I grab her and I slide her up. Now she's on top. So I can control, it's called the Z layer. It's the Z axis, right? You got the X and the Y axis are up and to the side, and then the Z axis is depth. So I can control the depth by ordering my layers here on the timeline. We also need to bring Sam forward to about there so he's in front of the boxes. And we could do the same thing with the boxes main project. Let's say I want the green box on top. That's this rectangle down here. So I move it above the group, and now it's on top of the blue boxes. So the order in which your layers occur defines, and the top of the layer list is the front, the bottom of the layer list is the back. So arrange your layers when you're working with multiple characters and elements so that you get the right things in the foreground and the right things in the background. The other thing that you do is lock and wink out things that your layer doesn't, or your timeline doesn't become crowded. So that's my 2 points. In the next lecture, we're going to look at rendering video output. So actually creating an MP4. All this work we've been doing has been creating internal files to Create Studio that only work with Create Studio. To work with other programs, to upload to YouTube, to upload to Facebook and all that stuff, you need to render an MP4 video. So we're going to look at how to do that in the next lecture. I'll see you there.